Hello, everyone. Welcome to Agaziy Media. My name is Wintana Araga. I am your host. Today, we will be having a short interview with entrepreneur Agaziy, so stay with us. Agaziy, would you like to introduce yourself for those who don't know you?
Of course. Thank you, Montana, for having me on Oxumalian Media. I appreciate the opportunity. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Agaziy Asefa. I currently reside in Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, I originate from Boston, Massachusetts. That's my birthplace. From Tigray. Specifically, my family originates from Tembien, Arregele, specifically Warqi Tarve. And on my mom's side, we're from Sabah Anderta, specifically Taharti Samre. So that's a little bit about myself.
All right. So, when did you first start making Tigrayan themed merchandise?
Awesome. That's actually a great question. I believe I was like 10 years old. My dad was involved in an organization by the name of Rasalula Development Association. And we had our first fundraising, I guess, fundraising event, which was located in Denver. Um, Somebody that really resonated with me as far as Tigrayan iconic figures was At Yohannes for several reasons. He was a great king of ours, but also he is Temyanai. So that's something that I really connected with. And the first time I ever created um, merch was me creating merch for that specific event. It was for myself. It was more of a creative special edition, if you want to call it, just to have something to wear for this event. So basically, what I did was I created pictures of him, three of them on a tall tee because tall tees were really in at that time, just to show like my understanding of being Tembian and supporting Rada in a way where I just wanted to represent At Johannes, and how I made that was through finding some heat transfers at Walmart and using my at-home printer at that time to print it and then using an iron to iron it on. At that time, I didn't get the opportunity to sell it, but that was the first time I really understood that I could sell these items because I had older people coming to me and saying, "We want that shirt. You should have made more because we would have bought it from you." And for me, I didn't understand that at that time, so I kind of let it, I swept it under the rug. But as I got older, I realized like my knowledge and history of Tigray could be utilized with my passion, which is fashion.
All right. So, as you mentioned, someone who motivated you was Atza Johannes. But who or what are some other motivations that motivated you to begin and to continue what you do today?
Awesome. This is another great question. A lot of people obviously motivate me. I have my family, my parents, my siblings, my sister that motivate me. But somebody that really had a huge impact in my life was Kobe Bryant. I'm big in sports, and basketball was actually my first love. And what I learned from him was his drive, um, his effectiveness to really hone in on his craft and perfect his craft and his relentlessness. And he's always he was always somebody that tried to um, be the best at it, and not only be the best at it, but demolish everybody in the process of it. And he's given me so much in regards to my mindset. And for me, Kobe Bryant was not only my idol; he was somebody that I looked up to, somebody that I really wanted to become as an individual, not only as a basketball player. And you know, to this day, I still think of the things he has instilled in me. And it's crazy that you can be motivated and you have this connection with somebody that you never met. And, Kobe Bryant was that guy for me, for sure.
Yes, definitely. R.I.P. to the legend. Um,
Yes, rest in peace.
Definitely. So, now that you've gotten this far, looking back, what would you have done differently?
Oh, man, that's actually a great question. What I would have done differently was probably get the education a lot sooner, really understand what people were saying when I first um, did the At Johannes shirt, because what that did was once I did that shirt, years down the line, it was I believe 2017 to Fest in Las Vegas. I was able to create our first iconic figure shirt, which I believe you have on as well right now, which is our mullah shirt. And we also created Howlty dad hats, and we were able to sell them at that time. I really wish I took more of an entrepreneurship mindset within the community a lot sooner, and established something like TYLV clothing a lot sooner, just so that we had a platform when the genocide occurred. So that's something I would have probably definitely done differently. But again, I feel like things happen for a reason. So I feel like things happened the way it should, because now I gained the experience through working in other retailers and having other skill sets. And I truly believe now I'm in the best position to really help my people out and also help myself in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you've mentioned the genocide. So, for those of you that don't know, our families back home are currently facing a huge crisis. So, as a member of the Tigrayan diaspora, how are you contributing in exposing the unfolding genocide in Tigray?
Man, for me, I try to do it on so many different levels. Um, One level is through TYLV clothing by creating merchandise that is able to create awareness on what's going on back home, but also create a way to fundraise for people back home without us just asking for money, giving something in return um, of their fundraising or their donation, right? So creating that, and also um, for for uh, for me, it's being involved in the local events and providing my skill set of project managing, my organizational skill set, my people managing, process managing, and organizing these local events. And then also on a bigger scale, giving them access to my network within the community and my network outside the community, and helping really streamline and create these processes for these nationwide protests. So those are the things that I've been doing, and also creating content on social media so that it's shareable and it's things that can connect with the diaspora, but also something that can create awareness in more of an organic way. But those are the things that I've been doing to try to create awareness for our people.
All right, great answer. Um, so I know we all have goals, and for you, that includes your business and your personal life. So, what are some goals you have in your business slash creative slash personal life?
Nice. I'm all about goals first and foremost. I'm all about planning. I think it's really something important for everybody to do is to plan and really set smart goals. So smart goals are strategic, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time. So having a timeline where you can track it. I think these things are going to be key. So for me, personal goals are getting my body where I want it to be, physical goal, mind, educating myself, providing myself knowledge, food for thought. And then spiritually, I want to grow as well, and challenging myself every day to really understand who I am and love myself more every day. And I encourage everybody to do that, because that's really going to get you to a space of happiness. But in my business, I want to make sure that my personal goals are aligned with my business goals. So for my business goals, I was able to find a passion, right? My passion is fashion, and then also finding a purpose. A purpose is really key. My purpose is to help people, not only help the people of Tigray that are living in Tigray, but the people of Tigray that are outside of Tigray, right? And then also helping African Americans out, and then hopefully getting to a space of helping larger people. And how I plan to do that is through first helping my people out first helping myself to make sure I can support helping other people, and then helping my people out. My ultimate goal and plan for business is building this nonprofit to be able to support jobs for the diaspora, education, and then to create more entrepreneurs by invoking creativity and educating them on entrepreneurship. But then I also want to be able to create factories, whether it's textile factories, um, wholesale blanks, screen printing factories, and create factory cities in Tigray where we're able to help the economic growth in Tigray, but also kind of the employment rates, and really be able to support the needs of the people, and also create a fashion school out there where you don't have to be a doctor, or you don't have to be working in hard labor, and you have other opportunities as Tigrayans to excel in life. You know what I mean? One aspect that I really want to instill in is um, digital products, right? So digital products will allow us to gain different dollar amounts, right? So with us being in Tigray, we're dealing with the burr, where if you're a graphic designer and you're able to provide that digital product, then instead of you getting paid burr, you'll be able to get paid dollars, euros, which is so much more than burr, right? Because it's a digital product that you're giving out, and a digital service. And so if we become more service orientated, we are able to create more money and generate more money for the economic growth of Tigray, and it ultimately will help the people of Tigray. So those are my big goals and my big plans, but I have to make small compounding decisions every day to make sure I can reach that ultimate goal, and that's what my focus is on. So through personal life, I'm making smaller decisions that's going to hopefully help me and get me to that big goal.
Mm-hmm. All right. So besides TYLV clothing, what are some other things you do? What is your day looking like, and what are some other jobs you partake in?
Awesome. So yeah, TYV clothing is a big part of my life, but it's not everything that I do in my life. I work for a company called the Santos Studios. And I love this company because it's a production company, and I get access to a lot of things that I didn't have knowledge on beforehand. So that's videography, editing, also the space of YouTube. I work with a guy by the name of John Santos, who has a huge platform on educating on entrepreneurship, really embedding himself in the niche of apparel with manufacturing. And so for me, I get a lot of guidance and mentorship from him, but also he provides his platform for me to be able to really speak on the crisis and the plight of my people, of the people of Tigray. And so it's such a, a beautiful place to work in because it's conducive to what I want. They challenge you on your creativity, and it's just such a powerful place to work in. And I'm so appreciative of that space, and it's given me so much opportunities. So I also do like expos, and I do a lot of one-on-one trainings and group trainings, workshops. My expertise is in sales and managing businesses, scaling businesses up, and managing people, time, and processes. And they really give me the space to really educate. So those are the things that I do, but I also love physical activity. So physical activity is really important to me. I love sports. I love dancing. And basketball is one of my biggest sports that I play, and I'm still embedded with basketball. I don't get to play it as much, but again, it's my first love. That's another thing that I want to bring to our community is education on the importance of sports. We do a lot of soccer, but I really want to build basketball camps back home. Hence the reason one of our products was a jersey, a basketball jersey. And I really want to be able to coach later on in my life, develop basketball teams, and really give my skill set in that area as well. So those are things that I like to do outside of TYLV clothing.
All right, great answers. So, when you first began selling Tigrayan merchandise, what were your expectations feedback wise, and how were like the actual feedback you actually received?
Yeah. So when I first ever created that Johannes shirt, I wasn't expecting people to say anything. I knew it was cool, so I knew they were gonna say something to me about it, but never thought they would want to purchase it. So that was number one. Um, as I progressed in my fashion, as I got older and I gained more knowledge and was able to have a higher skill set, that Mela shirt that you have on right now that we created and it was our first item that we sold. The feedback was crazy. I was not expecting that feedback. I did my due diligence to ensure that I had the best quality, and the same quality that we did the Mela shirt in is the same quality we did the Tigger Ade shirt in. And so for me, I knew the quality was there. The design was going to be there, but I honestly didn't think it was going to take off the way it did. So the Tigger Ade definitely I knew was going to be a staple piece. It says Tigray. It's branded in a way where I really haven't seen people branding Tigray like this, where it's clear, but it also has a message. So we have all these cities inside, all the cities of Tigray is inside. Tigray meaning we are one, Before the war, it was a lot of, you know, Deka Tembien, Deka Ma'ala, Deka Adwa, Deka Agame, and we were doing all of these separate initiatives. But I love the fact that out of this horrible time of us, what we were able to gain out of it, the silver lining, was togetherness, and to understand that Tigray is always going to be Tigray, and Tigray is going to be one, right? And so that's what the meaning of this shirt is. When you see all the cities, and you know, it just took off like wildflower. But to be honest, the biggest surprise was the Salsa Wayana jerseys. The Salsa Wayana jerseys are number one selling item, and it took me back because I specifically made it for the diaspora. I wanted it to be a vibe. It's a throwback styled jersey with the design. My inspiration was the Houston Rockets jersey. That was a throwback to Hakeem Olajuwon would wear, and I wasn't expecting like people like my parents or people in the older generation, meaning like 60 and above, to really resonate with the jersey. And going to these protests, it was, I believe, the Denver protest, the nationwide Denver protest that I went to, and I seen everybody with the jersey on, and seeing the moms with the jersey, and it just did something to me. So what it told me was that I was in the right space and I was using my skill set for the right reasons, and um, I can push the community forward in this way, in a way that I'm not going to be really exhausting all my energy in. This is something that I'm passionate about. So it was really, really, really eye opening for me, and that's why I'm continuing. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely. That Denver protest, you look out, you see Southside Wayano jerseys. Such a fire piece. But speaking of fire pieces, here's a hard one for you. What is your favorite product and why?
Woo-wee. That's like asking me to choose which one is my favorite child, right? So they all have a certain importance to me. Obviously, they all have different meanings. How I was able to create them was through the messaging. So they all mean something different to me. So I love them all in different ways. But I can honestly say, because I'm into styling and fashion, I get over a lot of products really quick, and that's why with TYLB Clothing, we're consistently coming out with new product, new initiatives, new collections, because we want to keep everybody on their toes, and we want to provide merch for the masses. We have so much to talk about. We have so much to show for our Tigray history, our Tigray culture, and what's going on right now. So for me, my favorite items are always the items that come out, the latest items. So right now, my favorite item is this Black History Month, African history equals Black history. So it's our Black History Month collection. It's also this Aksumite kingdom, which is just everything to me. Yeah, when you really think about it, and it's educating not only Tagalus, but the African community that we come from kings and queens. I honestly feel like if we educated ourselves as African Americans, that we come from kings and queens, and it derives from Tigray, man, it's so powerful. And I see that within our community. There's things that we're doing as such a small community where we make up 6% of Ethiopia. We're facing Eritrean soldiers, drones, and just like this overwhelming this overwhelming
Enemy?
enemy, yeah, like countless enemies at that. And look at what we're able to accomplish. You know what I mean? Everybody in the world knows who Tigray is now. They know where we're at. They know our flags. You know, it's crazy when I, in the beginning of this war, where I would go up to people and try to educate them on Tigray, and they're like, "Where is that?" But now I'm like, "Hey, do you know about Tigray?" They're like, "Yeah, we heard you
Yeah,
guys
I've
in the
heard of it,
news."
yeah.
Yeah, and now it's different. And so for me, it's like, how were we able to do that? It's things that our parents instilled in us, right? It's us understanding who we are as people. You know, we know that the history comes from Ethiopia, that comes from Tigray. So even within Ethiopia, we have a sense of pride within ourselves, and that pride, honestly, is what people hate, and that's what the Ethiopians that are for the government and that are basically for the genocide are really upset about. It's that hate, that we're so prideful that we know who we are, we know who we come from, and I want to pass that pride on to other people, African Americans, to say, hey, you got to be prideful that you come from kings and queens, and you know, Queen Sheba, King Izana, they all come from this Aksumite kingdom, and Aksumite kingdom stretched from Eritrea to different parts of Ethiopia, and we were conquering Yemen and all these other places. So it's a really great thing to really educate yourself on. So that's why this is really important to me, because of the message and the time that we're in right now. So yeah.
All right. I can personally say that the crew necks, the university crew necks, my personal favorites. Um, so, what is a piece of advice you would give to the youth that you wish you had been given when you were younger?
mm, that's a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I start now? A piece of advice that I would give is, um, believe in yourself and truly create and try. The only failure that you will see in trying is failing to try. Like, if I never tried, if I never seeked my passion and really honed in on my skill set and found my purpose through passion, man, I can only imagine what we would be missing. People tell me all the time how much they love the apparel and the merchandise, and for me, I know I'm not the only creator here. I want to encourage other people, whether they're youth or even older people, because a lot of older people never got that opportunity to explore. I just want to encourage other people in our community to be great. You know what I mean? And really understand what that means and be a mentor to them. You know what I mean? So a lot of people in our community, of course, we have our abetis, we have our uncles, aunts, and all of that give us advice on a regular, but we need more mentorship, more one-on-one trainings, more development, more workshops to really hone in on the skill set of what they might want, to be creative and really encourage them the right way, not through comparisons or negative comments, but really being positive and giving them the tools and resources to be great. So that's something I would give, is say, hey, try, don't be afraid to reach out, and find a mentor. And if you guys need a mentor, I'm always available to help other people out. So definitely.
All right. So now that we are coming to the end of our program, I'm going to give you the platform to say some last final messages and tell us and everybody where we can get your products.
Yes. So my last final message is, moving the community forward. Something that was said to me when I was doing another live is, we're fighting for our community while fighting our community, and really understanding what that means. For me, what I want to leave is a legacy. I want to be able to leave um, my community and say, I push them forward. So, what are we going to do to push each other forward? First and foremost, we have to start building businesses. This has to be our renaissance day and age right now. Everybody is preaching free Tigray, but we have to act like Tigray is free and start really building the foundation and the pillars to really be successful when Tigray is free, right? And so I really want us to focus on what entrepreneurship is and business building, and then also support, right? What does support mean? Meaning we have to understand to keep the money within the community, right? And one of the biggest opportunities that I see is, it's always, people don't want to support Tugadus unless it's a donation, or it's going to a crisis, or it's going to this. We have to start getting comfortable with supporting Tugadus just because it's a Tugadu, or because it's a Black owned business, or it's because we want them to succeed. You know what I mean? And really get out of that mindset of saying, hey, where's this money going to? Is this going to be donated? Because when you go to Walmart, you don't ask that question. When you go to Target, you don't ask that question. When you go to your local grocery stores, you don't ask that question. So why do you feel comfortable to ask it in this phase? To me, it definitely gives very hater energy, and it gives the, I don't want you to succeed unless it's for my specific reason. We should be in the space of saying, hey, I'd rather go to a Tigray owned restaurant. I'd rather go to a Tigray business and spend my money. I'd rather, instead of them giving me a discount and me expecting a discount, let me make sure I pay full price, because I want them to succeed. And understanding that we have to sacrifice right now for our kids to succeed, for our kids to have better opportunities, right? And so I want to leave with that notion. I want people to sit on that and really really hone in on that. If we're talking about free Tigray, what are the steps that we're going to take now to ensure that Tigray is not only going to be free but be successful? And where you can find me is on Instagram, at underscore stylism underscore, and it's spelled underscore STYLISM underscore. On TikTok at Agaziy. For my nonprofit, it's on Instagram at TYOV Clothing. Please follow. And our website is www.tyovclothing.com. And please follow, purchase. 100% of the proceeds are going to Tigray. We make absolutely $0 here, in the production and the manufacturing and the selling of the clothes. And for us, what we get is fulfillment that we impacted our community, fulfillment that we're doing it as a community. Wintana, you've been such a great help to TYLV Clothing, somebody that I consider as not only a baby sister, but somebody that is that's going to be an entrepreneur. You know, somebody that's going to be bigger than TYLV Clothing. You're going to build something great, and you know, it's a community thing, and Las Vegas has put in so much work. And then again, TYLV Clothing stands for Tigray Youth Las Vegas Clothing, and it is a community thing. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Agaziy. And thank you for joining us and sharing with us your experience. It's always a delight to have you. So, everybody watching, please subscribe and share the Agaziy Media Network. Until next time, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Agaziy.